You may be wondering, is the real estate market crashing? Well, stay tuned. Hey everybody, I'm David Jansen, and today we're going to discuss 5 reasons why today's real estate market is not like the one back in 2008. Now, before we get started, if you haven't already done so, please hit that subscribe button and hit the bell so you'll be notified of all my new videos. Also, if you stick with me to the end of this video, I'll provide you with some tips for both buying and selling a home. With all the volatility in the stock market and uncertainty about the coronavirus, there is concern we may be headed for another housing crash, like the one we experienced back in 2008. And that feeling is totally understandable. There are many reasons, however, indicating this real estate market is nothing like 2008. First off, the mortgage standards are nothing like they were back in 2006 to 2008. Back then, it wasn't difficult to get a mortgage. Today, it's much tougher to qualify. The Mortgage Bankers Association released a mortgage credit availability index, which is a summary measure that indicates the availability of a mortgage credit at a point in time. The higher the index, the easier it is to get a mortgage. As you'll see here, during the housing bubble, the index skyrocketed. The current index shows how getting a mortgage now is even more difficult than it was before the bubble. The second reason is prices are not soaring out of control. Here you'll see how annual house appreciation over the past 6 years compared to the 6 years leading up to the height of the housing bubble. Though price appreciation has been quite strong recently, it is nowhere near the rise in prices that preceded the crash. Normal appreciation is 3.6%, so while current appreciation is higher than the historic norm, it's certainly not beyond control as it was in the early 2000s. Third reason, we don't have a surplus of homes on the market. We actually have a shortage. The housing market needs about 6 months of supply of inventory to sustain a normal real estate market. Anything more than that is an overabundance that will cause prices to depreciate. Anything less, then there's a shortage and will cause continued appreciation. You'll see here, there were too many homes for sale in 2007, and that caused prices to tumble. Today, there's a shortage of inventory which is causing an appreciation in home values. The fourth reason is houses became too expensive to buy. The affordability formula has 3 components: the price of a home, the wages earned by the buyer, and the mortgage rates available at that time. Here you'll see the difference. 14 years ago, prices were high, wages were low, and mortgage rates were over 6%. Today, prices are still high, however, wages have increased and the mortgage rate is about 3.5%. That means the average family pays less each month towards their mortgage payment. The fifth reason, now people are equity rich and not tapped out. In the run-up to the housing bubble, many homeowners were immediately withdrawing their home equity once it built up. Prices have risen nicely over the last few years, leading to over 50% of homes in the country having greater than 50% equity. But this time, owners have not been tapping into that equity like they did before the bubble. Here's a comparison between the equity taken out over the last 3 years compared to 2005, 2006, and 2007. Homeowners have cashed out over $5 billion less than before. During the crash, home values began to fall and sellers found themselves in a negative equity situation, which is where the amount of the mortgage they owe was greater than the value of their home. Some decided to simply just walk away from their home, and that led to an influx of foreclosures and short sales, which sold at a huge discount, thus lowering the value of all the other homes in the area. That can't happen today. Bottom line is this: if you're concerned we're making the same mistakes now that led to the housing crash before, go back and review these slides and graphs again to help alleviate your fears. Now, back at the beginning of this video, I promised to provide you with some tips for buying and selling a home. You'll find that information down below now. Should you have any questions about the home buying process, I invite you to reach out to me at 281-610-6826. Once again, if you didn't get a chance to subscribe earlier, go ahead and do so now, and we'll catch you on the next video.
I may be the prettiest, but these videos are the greatest of all time. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and click that notification bell.